Today, Ruby, I'll show you how to make a sky island. Now, all you need is some type of falling block, which is sand. So when you stack up, it will, you have a place to place. In bedrock anyway, you cannot do that with the scaffolding, so that's why I recommend this for besides the scaffolding. And be careful while tiring up, because I have on the tablet glitched before off the tower and fallen to my death. Now let's get into it. First, we want to find an area that you want to place down. Since I am in a flat world and it doesn't really matter where I start building, I would want to build 2 blocks up, a lantern underneath, so once I delete the stone, it will all the sand on top will break away very quickly. Tower up as high as you want, like as high as you want your island to be. I want it to be like decently high, but not high enough where it's not seeable to a player with their distance. You place your block that you want to start off your island there. Go to the bottom. Boom! Now that's all broken. You now have just a floating block to start off on. I like to have my island a bit more natural looking, so I would place like 3 blocks upwards, and then from that point on I'll place another block and have blocks go around it. Now, your island do not have to be the exact same shape as everyone else's. Islands will look different each time. And as you know, I have a tendency to place blocks on the inside, glowy blocks on the inside, so that no googlies will spawn in there. Now you see what I'm doing now. I'm placing 2 blocks up from the original point and randomly placing blocks outwards, so that it gives a more natural feel. You can have it like this, where it's only T shape here. So now I have more of a this shape. So when you fly around it, and like you keep doing this until you have a island shape. And since this part right here is like I have an area where I can place down a block already, I can place it here. And over here, to fill in the gap, you can continue on all the areas. If you so desire, you can ignore the little section and just keep placing blocks on top. So the blocks will start building a shape to the island. And now you have this flat surface here. You do not want it to be too flat, so you place this, place that block, and up at least 3 or 2. You want to make sure that your island shape is pretty much kind of like how I do the trees, but like reverse in a way. So you have your blocks like this and point it outwards for the others, like the blocks next to it, and make sure that none of the blocks are completely diagonal. You see how these 2 blocks are completely on the same length? What you can do is either put a block right next to it, like you can put a block here to change the length, or you can get a slab, or let me find it. You can get a wall. You can get a wall and get the agnersite wall and put it right here, and it gives a really nice look to the build already. So if I put this like that, it starts to look like it's hanging little megamites I don't know what they're called, but you can put those on the little stumps that you have on the bottom of your island, and you can put them at you can put them on some and the other ones don't put them at all, so it gives a more of a textured look. And if you want more of a textured look, you can also replace the stone with another block to replace it. So agnesite is another block you can do, or iron ore, you can place it here. Actually, iron ore will look better up here, and then agnesite there. So any natural looking blocks will look good with the island itself. So you gotta make sure that the it doesn't look man-made at all, to be honest. And you can keep on building outwards. You see how this section there, like this area here, is starting to look a bit more curved. I can continue on with that pattern and have a bit of this look right here. And since this is going into the peak right here, I will start placing blocks around this area to give it like a more of a look. You see how much that looks, like how much better that looks. Now, when you're building, the materials will depend on I am going to build a small island, so the bigger it is, the longer it's going to take a bit. Over here, we can do the exact same thing, where we place blocks in its place, so that the blocks doesn't despawn or do anything that I don't know what I'm talking about, to be honest. But all I know what to do is the shape. When you're building, all is good. What really matters in your building is your shape. That's it. You can have really bad, not so good looking materials, but you'll have a really good shape with that. And then you can gather the materials later on and just place them in the plate in the spot that you want. Well, you can also get glowing materials too, like shroom lights, and then you get some gray glass, dark gray glass, and then you can place the dark gray glass here. You can have the shroom light on the inside, dark gray glass on the outside, and when you're looking at it from far away, you should it's a more denser color, so it would be harder to see it, but you can still see it. There's a light there. But if you do not want that, because that kind of looks a bit off, if you do not want that, you can just keep it as it is. Now, what I just did for the lights wasn't really proper. So to do it proper, you can do it more than one block in. Let me put my grass block in there and get another block. So, if you have two different colored blocks, right? Two different colored glass blocks, it'll make the outside of the block look darker than it originally was. You see how more gray that looks? It's more foggy. It's because I used the dark stain block and then the light stain block, and it gives off more of a foggy texture. Usually the people in Hermitcraft will give a space right here and then have a glass right there, so it gives off more of a foggy look, which I was still doing, but the way I do it is way more compact. So if you want the inside of your build to be a bit foggy looking, you can also do that. I'm gonna place some shroom lights on the inside and then turn the glass into like a purple ooze coming out of it. We can do that. So the purple ooze will use magenta and purple and replace that with the two glasses that we have. We will do the purple first, like purple here. And then we have magenta, purple, and then magenta. And then the magenta could be flowing downwards from the island itself like a little fog steam, like a fog. And then we'll do purple outwards because fogs moves when the wind moves. And then purple surrounding the magenta. So I guess that could start looking like a fog right there. Yeah, that's starting to look a little bit like a fog. And we'll keep doing that process. We can bring it down more. So it looks like it's slowly coming down. Sorry in the noise of the background. My parents are building. So this makes it look like it's a more of a foggy look because this is coming off of the island. Look at that. That looks real nice. Now, to make it look like it's not like it looks a bit weird right now. So what we need to do is place some blocks, like continue building our island. And you look at the glass and build up where the glass was. And you basically build up from there to start building out a textured area for your like wall or like your next section. Like your next section outwards, because each layer is like an onion or like anything layered in, like you seen how can I describe it? You seen like how an egg is, right? And they have the white part and then the yolk is in the middle. So it's kind of like that, but it's not at the same time because you're doing more than one layer. So like how I'm saying is the middle part right here. Oh, wow, this is already like the color. The middle part would be like the egg, the yolk. And you're trying to build outwards to make a semi-circle-ish look, but you do not need to make it perfectly circle, as naturally spawning, like how I would imagine naturally spawning areas would not look like very like cylinder or like very perfect. Like if it's perfectly round, that's be amazing. Have you ever seen like a perfectly round circle in the nature that is not man-made? I haven't. If you have, please, I would love to see it. But besides that, I haven't never seen a perfectly round picture. And if you send me some Photoshop picture, I would know because I do Photoshop myself. Now how you can see that I'm doing the building up a bit of a texture right here. And since it's like gotten to the point where I can start adding more of this right here, I can start making it look like it's drip like this. Yeah. So randomly I can just place it and have it coming off a bit farther down than usual to make it look like it came from a cave. You know where the how in a cave they'll have a magmite? Is it called stellalites or lights? Something lights. in a real life cave, they'll have those mics coming off from the ceiling. They also have it coming out of the ground. So if you want, you can build a giant circle, like a giant crater around the area where your island came out of, to give it more of a feel that it wasn't natural, but it was like ripped out of the ground by magic itself. Kind of makes it give a story to the build. You always want to give life to your builds, because a build without life is kind of like a dirt house with no personality. You can make a pretty good dirt house. It's just you need different colored dirt, and that different colored dirt will give it a personality. But without the different colored dirt, it will be like one type of personality. Plain. Who wants, no one really likes a plain dirt house, but I'm not here to judge, because that's your house. And you probably love your house the way it is, and no one wants to, and it's not up to me to judge your house the way you love it. Now you see how it's giving off a bit of a weird shape on this side. You can go down here and start making it a bit more organized, like more of a different shape. I am trying to make it look like it's more pointy down, like it's more unified. That's what I was trying to say earlier, unified. But if I can't make it more unified, I can just pull this part outwards more to make it have, ooh, yeah, this section right here looks pretty good, actually. So I actually gonna bring out these two areas outwards a bit more, diagonal wise, so it will give out a more of a feel to it. So like when you're turning, you see how it changes like shape. I'm probably gonna do that when I want to make moving buildings, because there is a technique to making your builds move if you really want to. But right now I'm not really up to making moving buildings. So you can see how this is built up pretty nicely. You need to do this, which I've done over here, to over here. So it starts giving more and more give a nicer look to it. And since this has more of a deeper slope than this one, I can start building out the slope for this one. So the slope doesn't look all lonely, I guess. The flat, you do not want like a very flat surface, like a often flat surface. There you go. You see how the fog looks much better now? Because I built upwards from where it originally was. And if I really want to, I can just build out little glass like this and have them just floating in place. Oops. Put that back with a different block. There we go. See, now it looks like the blocks are kind of giving off a ghastly feeling that it's floating down into the atmosphere, like it's some heavy gas. And then I can do that to the parts out here. And then since it's supposed to be like a heavy gas, I've seen most heavy gases have like some type of different colorations, so we can add some white smoke to it. So to do that, we'll need some colored white stained glass and light gray. So the light gray will give off more of a personality, I guess. Here we go. And then we can break the purple one. Boop, boop, boop. We're making a little TIE fighter for the light gray glass. So the TIE fighter looking one will look like a smoke cloud. Kind of like that. And then we can do on the inside this and have it coming outwards a bit. Yeah, that kind of looks better. I still need to work on my glass technique, so it will be better in the future. No, that needs to be a darker color because it's in the middle. Yeah, that kind of looks better. And then we can have the gray, right? The gray right here. To make it look like it's fading into it. Like fading into a different color. Yeah, that kind of looks good. Like the gray, light gray fading into the purple. Looking like it's changing color as it falls downwards. It could be, where am I going? Why is my tablet glowing? Going weird. And we can add more of the TIE Fighters ones. Like the little TIE Fighters. So we build off from this, break the purple, poop, boop, and boop. There we go. We have like a kind of like a little TIE fighter. Boom. We have like a little TIE fighter looking creature. Well, smoke puff. I am going to continue building, and all you have to do for building is building it layer by layer. So when you first start, it's 1 block layer, and then you keep going up. It goes from 1 block outwards, and go 1 block up, and then 1 block outwards, 1 block up, or like 2 blocks up, and then 1 block outwards. Kind of that pattern. You can see here how this is 1 block, but it went 3 up, and then another block inside, and a block, 2 blocks, 1 block outwards, 2 blocks up, 1 block outwards, 2 blocks up, 1 block outwards. This is at least 5 blocks up, and 1 block outwards. So you just continue that pattern until you're happy with the size of your island. And I am going to speed build this moment. I didn't realize the recording cut off, but while I was off, while my recording had sadly died on me, I had built this green thing going around the island to give it more of a personality, like magic. I like to do magic with glass because it's clear, and it always gives that like feeling it's actually magic, because when you look at magic, it's never like a solid thing. It's kind of like a gas. Now, since I said we will focus on the grass area next, that's exactly what we're going to do. So I am going to occasionally put a block down at the same level where the other blocks is. But once I do that, I can also step it up one block. So look, it's more like the dirt is kind of falling off and being barely stabled by anything. And if it really bothers you that this doesn't have any support, you can just put like more blocks under here. So it looks like this. But really, a floating island is supposed to be non-gravitational, like supported by nothing actually. It's like the gravity of the world is limited to a certain degree. So I guess if you're building a world full of sky islands, the world would also have like you'll jump really high, be able to jump onto the islands. That'll be pretty sick though. There's my building materials. There we go. Now we go on to the grass. What we're doing here is just giving it, well, I'm repeating what I just said. Well, as you can see in this area, this part is going to be simple, but if I had, how in the world is there animals in here when I didn't spawn any animals? Okay, y'all are going to be stuck in there. I can do this bit right here, and then it looks like a little bit like this. But if you do not want it to look like that, because really building is all about opinion and what your opinion look like in your head. What looks good in your head? Like, for me, since this is an island that's been ripped out of the ground, the top part will be a mixture of stone and grass around the border. And then the more center area will be more of a leafy green area. So, by me saying that, I can put the edges as completely stone in some areas, so that the it looks like it's more of a. Do they need help? Hello? Do you need help to get getting out of here? I'm pretty sure there's a way out. If not, I'll build you a way out, Mr. Cow and 2 chickens. There you go. You're free, Mr. Cow. You're free. Go on, live a life. Live your life of a free cow. I know you can do it. Go, chicken. Hop. Chicken is not smart. There we go. Chicken is going. Chicken seems to know what he's be doing. If you want, you can solid off the bottom part of the inside, so you can for building anyway, because people would like to do the insides for making a house and stuff. I did that for one of my houses that I've done. But you see how this part is mostly stone, and because it's mostly stone, I can start spotting a little bit of grass here and there to make it look like it's not only just a stone, like it's fading into each other. Don't forget the occasionally put down other blocks to give it more of a personality. Boop. I'm still trying, like, I'm keeping in my head to just keep it limited of the grass right now, because if I do that, it will look like the stone is overrunning the grass. If anything, I think the yeah, that kind of looks like a nice pattern between stone and grass right there. And then right here we can add some more agnesite. It really needs it, actually, some agnesite to give it textured walls. Because if you're not building like layered walls, you will need to texture it a bit, so it will be will be easier to look at. Because most people don't like looking at a plain surface. I just see the cow. A pig just spawned. Okay. But what you can do is with this technique, you will be able to use this in many of your builds too, with the mixtured block builds. You can use it in like building a castle, because the castles usually have plain like walls, and sometimes plain walls don't exactly look nice to look at. So it's always nice to have a bit of texture to those walls. Or like, some people don't like making their walls like too thick. I understand that, but like, still. Did a bat spawn there? I probably need to turn off mob spawning thing in my settings, but I am not bothered apparently. That will turn into dirt. If you want this to be a house, you see how I have the stepping area right here? Your house needs to be up 2. So when you go in, it will look like it's just a little mound instead of a dirt house, I guess. No, like it will look like a mound instead of not being like a mound. To be honest, this is all just terraforming at this point. This point, you just need to know how to terraform. And then if you know how to terraform, you'll be honestly good. But when terraforming, you need to make sure your pattern... Wait, this is a perfect side. This right here. You notice how this is not straight? Like, all the way going this side to that side. It's not exactly straight. When you're making terraforming, you don't want it to be complete like straight. You want it to have a little bit of curve. One block backwards and one block forwards. If I delete this, it will still look nice. And then like I can put like a piece of stone here, and it will still look pretty nice. And then I can keep doing this actually. So what I can do with this type of terraforming is to make sure that none of it is like even or like symmetrical, because if it's symmetrical, it will look a bit off for a house. Like, if you're like looking at it for a distance, and then it's like completely perfectly symmetrical, something is a bit off. As I was saying, that this part right here looks a bit too symmetrical for me. So I'm gonna destroy some blocks over here and then make it into like a bit of a round curved on top. So once I got the build up part, the part that I want to build it up, I can bring in the roof a bit. No, I'm busy at the moment. You can bring in the roof a bit, and then have it looking like this, because my friends are texting on Discord. You can bring in the roof, and it will start looking more like the bottom part of the top part of a little mound that you will see naturally in your Minecraft world. And to be honest, I really need to stop saying or stop stuttering. But to be honest, voila! This looks so much more nicer than it did before, because look, the grass is looking right up. It's quite natural, as you can see. The chickens love it. So is the sheep, the pig, and possibly the cow that I don't have no idea where it went. But once you've built your island, you can put anything that you want on it. So what I am going to do is put some wild, like natured stuff on it. So trees, a bit of vines, flowers, something a bit more natural. You can also add a waterfall falling off if you want a way back to the top. It's a natural looking way too. I don't know how I got the egg. I can add the waterfall here. I'll add the waterfall, but I need to get my dirt. There you go. Now I've gotten the dirt, and this area right here looks pretty nice for a little waterfall area. So I am going to build like a little 4x4, and then just put water here. Just put water inside of the 4x4 and block it off so it can reset how it flows. Chicken will get pushed off. I'm sorry, chicken. If you get pushed off, I am sorry. Here we go. We can break this block. And now we got a duck. And then it will fall right off into the bottom to make a nice flow. Chicken about to fall off. And we can pop in some trees to make it more natural looking too. Boop. 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 Bone meal some of the ground. Chicken likes the flowers. See, the chicken likes the flowers. Boop, boop. Boom. Now you got yourself a nice looking island. And if you want your island, don't worry if your island does not look like mine exactly. And you can have different way the island looks. This one is more of a medium-sized island. I said I was going to build a small one, but that's okay. Medium-sized island is just fine. All right with me. Now, this is the end of this video, and I hope you have a most wonderful day, and if a horse just spawned. No, baby just spawned. No, baby, don't push your mother off. Okay. On that note, goodbye everyone. See y'all later. Bye bye.